As you look at the folks on the ground in Florida, we have people who have evacuated and or are evacuating currently, though time is running out. What is your message to people in the potentially affected communities in Tampa Bay, in Fort Myers? It's individual disaster relief and preparedness, but is there anything that you would give, any words of advice you would give to folks on the ground in Florida?
First and foremost, listen to your emergency management agencies. At the local level, they have the most knowledge on where that risk is. Florida, in particular, has a very robust emergency management system at the county and at the state levels and at the municipal levels because they get hit a lot. These things, hurricanes are not new to Florida. If they're saying this is not a safe place to be, it's not a safe place to be. And the other thing we always say, too, is that don't assume that the last storm experience is what this experience is going to be like. There are a lot of big concerns with the track that it takes, with the storm surge that this could create, with the debris that's on the ground. And so listen to the experts and the agencies in your community and take the actions that they recommend to be safe. And if the recommendation is to get out, do whatever you can to safely evacuate.
Is there anything else about the impending path of Milton that has you especially concerned or that you have your eye on? You've mentioned the storm surge. Obviously, there will be high winds, 8 to 12, possibly more inches of rainfall in really the center of the path. What do you have your eye on?
How fast it moves at this point, and the models are going to get more and more accurate as it gets closer and closer to landfall, and that time shortens. But unlike Helene, which sort of took a northward path through the country, stalled out, dropped a ton of rain, and sort of kept hitting states until it eventually fizzled out. This is taking an eastward path across Florida, and the faster it moves across, the sooner people can get in for rescue if that's necessary, and the faster it moves across, hopefully the less sort of rainfall and the less time for that surge is there. So those are going to be key factors in this.
I see. So speed I usually associate with velocity, but in this case, speed would be good because it moves faster and just gets relief in sooner.
I should be a little careful about how I say this because we have had hurricanes like Michael that move very quickly but have ferocious wind speeds. But if we see this die down, and so most of the damage and most of the lives lost, at least in mainland areas from hurricanes, come from flooding. And that flooding comes from storm surge and inland flooding from rainfall. And so, if the storm stalls and stays in one place for a long time, this is what we saw with Hurricane Harvey, with Hurricane Florence, where and even Hurricane Helene inland is where it sort of hangs out for a while and just is able to just keep dumping rain at historic amounts. The sooner that it gets out there, the sooner that hazard is gone and the sooner that relief can get in, assuming there isn't some other characteristic like really extra ferocious winds and things like that. But I think at this point, it's approaching. The outer bands are already there. It's really a matter of getting through this as quickly and safely as possible.